Hello people, and welcome back to another weekly roundup. So tonight, as the title says, let's teach people about flat Earth. Well, that's how I learned about the real shape of the globe Earth. I was thinking about that, and it is a good exercise, it is. I'll get back to that in a minute, but I was just checking up on Validation Boy. I was just listening to Pat talking about veganism and animal cruelty and how she cried, and she's sitting in her 4x4 surrounded by leather. Where does she think this leather came from? Well, it looks like leather, white leather. Aye, so thanks for coming tonight, guys. I ken it's a busy night with Antonio with his pointless sun tracking crap. Validation Boy suddenly put a hang it up, the wee Uncle Fester lookalike. Timmy's got one going as well. I was going to have a few people on. I might have a few people. It depends how I feel. But the UFC is on tonight. I was saying to Timmy last week that I was looking forward to this Daniel Cormier fight, and it was actually this week. So I can't make this too long. Anyway, hope you're having a good weekend. Having a wee bottle of beer tonight. Caesar Augustus, made in Aloha. It's a lager IPA hybrid. Pretty nice stuff. Aye, so I was thinking through primary school, obviously kids should be taught the globe. They see the globe on the teacher's desk, as flat earthers keep saying. But I think when kids or young kids get into, or young adults, teenagers get into high school, I think their teacher or their geography teacher or whoever teaches them about the world should tell them that Earth's flat. And the students would probably look at them like, what? And I think the teacher should tell them that the Earth's flat. Go away and prove me wrong. Prove to me that the Earth's not flat without NASA and without fancy mathematics. Just go away. And an exercise like that would be really good for the kids, I think. I think it'd be really good because the kids would come back and say, Teacher, the Earth's not flat, you idiot. I studied the moon phases for 2 weeks with my dad, and we marked it down, we matched it up with other places. You're talking rubbish. And the teacher would be, great, that's good, well done, son, pass. The next kid could come along and go, Teacher, the Earth's not flat. Again, when you look into the horizon, watch the sunset, the sun doesn't get smaller and fade away. It stays the same size. So does it just sink into the ground? Pass. You've done it. You've figured it out, son. And so on with each student. The next student comes along and goes, Teacher, I studied the star rotations. In the northern hemisphere, the stars go anti-clockwise. In the southern hemisphere, they go clockwise. Teacher says, pass. No, there's rubbish where they put the kids in the class, put a book in front of them and say, that's the Earth, that's where you live, and that's the country you stay. Learn the capitals, and that's about it. This is maybe the problem. This is maybe why primitive thinking, like the flat Earth, becomes so popular. Because it's not really the flat Earth, it's not our faults like the flat earthers on YouTube. I think it does stem with the education if you go back. Because if we as adults become so confused about where we live so easily. Something must have went wrong down the line. Something must have went wrong down the line if we were even consider flat Earth. Something that must have not been right, because if we were like those kids I was just talking about, if we were like those kids, those 4 kids with different examples, and we grew up, when it came to people like Dell, like approaching you in the street, the Earth's flat, you would go back to being a kid and go, no, it isn't. I done this. And they couldn't use all this rubbish like photos are fake or anything like that. You would go back to the memory of being a kid, doing your homework, doing the scientific method to prove a spherical Earth. And imagine if the whole society was like that you couldn't get bamboozled like this so easily. And I started thinking that way. I was thinking, wow, maybe it is the education system. Maybe they are being a bit lazy with the way they teach us knowledge. Because you keep hearing this, and I've heard it in Dells, and they throw these words around and they don't really understand them, and it's painful to listen to them sometimes. Even like the young guy coming on Dell's show tonight, and the youngest guy with the glasses, and you could see he was struggling to articulate to these guys because they're so primitive minded. They couldn't even understand the principles of duality for basics, things like that. So like when he's trying to communicate, it's like I think the younger ones, I think this is why maybe the schooling system has changed to a certain degree. Maybe this is why all the older people are getting fooled into flat Earth, because I find myself as one of the younger age brackets, and I'm in my early 30s. It's like I feel that there's not many people younger than me, maybe in their 20s, mid-20s, but the really younger generation, are they falling for this? So what went wrong with us? And I think that's where it goes. It goes to the teaching and our knowledge, and it goes back to them throwing these words around. Beliefs, you can't have beliefs, That's what you keep hearing, beliefs. And the young guy on Dell's show was like, you need beliefs. The person that's got the belief stronger than the person that's not got the belief. And he's kind of right. But the thing is, we all walked around with the belief that the Earth's round. And why did we believe that? Because our teachers told us so. But that doesn't make that belief real knowledge. Real knowledge is when you do what I said the kid's done with the teacher. That's when you gain real knowledge. But to use this empirical, everything has to be empirical. If you've not experienced it, it's not worth anything. If you've not seen it, touched it, felt it, it doesn't exist. And it's just, that's frustrating. That is frustrating. It's so primitive. It's such a primitive way to think. And it's not the first time people have thought like this. You can go back hundreds of years to philosophers that thought like this empirically. And they found that they got to the point where they weren't believing anything. It's like, it's stupid. It's stupid, guys. Because really, if everything was empirical, like with your senses, if every piece of evidence for your belief system had to be built with your own experience it with your own senses, if you had to gain knowledge that way, you would know really nothing, especially people that are remote. People that are in remote places, if they didn't read and study and communicate with people, talk about people with ideas and stuff, what would they know? Because there's nothing out there. If you based everything on empirical evidence, what would be the point in schools? What would be the point in schools? Or churches? Or anything, like courts? What would be the point in a courtroom if everything was empirical? Like, what would be the point in that? Honestly, guys, it's just stupid. Like, you need evidence as well. You need testimonies, solid testimonies. If somebody tells you something that you trust, they says, here, I've seen this. Look what I've found. And you trust them. You could take that on as some of your evidence to back up why you believe something. Maybe you don't have full knowledge of that belief, but you've got some evidence. You've got a testimony. You've got a trusted testimony, so you think. But like I said, it's a fine line. It's a fine line, and this is how we've been fooled by this crap, guys. Honestly, it's a joke. It's a total joke, this flat Earth. And it's, you go back to Dell. I was listening to Dell the night, and it's like this app. And like everything, I look at motive. That's why psychopaths and serial killers are so hard to get, because these guys will just kill people for no reason. There's no reason. There's no motivation. They'll just go out and kill somebody for no reason at all. And they're hard to pin down. The psychological aspects behind that, it's hard to get your finger on. But when you see these scenes and you see why people do certain stuff, you look for motivation. My motivation for what I'm doing is that I think the flat Earth is total lies, and it's polluting the information on YouTube with other conspiracies and making everybody look like idiots. And that's my motivation. And it's kind of like me. This is like a record, a piece of history. I can go back, a reference point. I could go back and look at this. I think, Jesus Christ, Jed, what was that all about? So that's my motivations. And then I think I look at other channels, and I think, what's the motivation behind their actions? And money. Money is a big one, guys. Money is a big one. Money is ripping through it all. You go in that Infinite Plane Society guy, he's disappeared. He's off the face of the earth. He's probably realised that this flat earth scene's probably more bother than it's worth. So he's probably out of here. He's made a quick buck and got out of here. He's probably still burning that Jesus thing. But he's out of here. But if you look at the top right-hand corner of his page, his channel, buy maps, ODD TV, buy this. This is why Antonio's trying to make a map, because once they think they've got an established map, they'll be selling it. They'll be selling it. And Dell now is selling apps, an app, $2.99. And this app, this app teaches you about the globe. Everything, all the data on Dell's new app, what's it, iEarth, teaches you about the globe. It uses the GPS in the phone, which is globe. It's globe math. It's all globe. And it tells you how fast you're spinning. This new app for flat earthers. This new app tells you how fast you're spinning. Tells you how fast you're going around the sun. It's great. It's great if you're a globe believer. Dell's new app is brilliant if you're a globe believer, because you can check out some cool stuff. But if you're a flat earther, it's worth nothing. It's worth nothing. Because they don't believe the earth spins. They don't believe this. They don't believe that. So what good is this app? They don't get it. It's hilarious. And like I said, motivation. And you see, we don't want to do Patreon or anything like that. And you see the app and it's $2.99. And Jesus Christ, man. Can nobody see this? Nobody see what's going on here? That they're just using Dell's platform to sell stuff. And $2.99. If they've got 600 people watching, $2.99. Just say half of them even buy it. I've noticed the wee buddy Ali B, he's not been there lately. I wonder if there's been a fallout somewhere along the lines with him. Because he was like a piece of the furniture. The Ali B. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me. Again, I'm just slaving on, but like I said, I was going to have a few people on. I realised the UFC's on as well. And sorry, guys, if you wanted to chat with me. I know you really want to chat with me. And there's a few people that gave me private messages. And guys, I've read them. And I'm just so busy as well, guys. I really am. So definitely get back to you because I want to turn this, like I said, I was trying to tell Tim this, and I'm not sure if people understand this, that I don't want these hangouts, when I have guests on, I don't want them to be these Ed guys from Earth Discussions. I don't want to be these Dell guys that are just totally indoctrinated. I want some different discussion. I want to talk about other things. Because this flat Earth, I think this flat Earth is like detracting our attention away from more important stuff that's going on right now. Obviously, there's stuff happening more important than flat Earth, and you can say whatever the Syrian stuff that's fake or whatever, but even if it is fake, it's still more important than flat Earth. So anyone can have a belief. Beliefs are allowed. Beliefs are allowed, whether those beliefs are backed by evidence to justify why you believe in them. If you don't have evidence to back why you believe in something, you're just being a dogmatist. And I think that's where the education systems went wrong somewhere, that they're teaching kids to be dogmatists, even with globe, Earth, and stuff like that. Is what people just refer to a book or a picture. I think we should be out more, exploring our world more. They're taking that away from us. Not just flat Earth, the globe Earth as well. All this rubbish. They're just keeping us on this YouTube. It's keeping us away from the real Earth. Whether it's flat or a globe, we're stuck in our houses talking rubbish on YouTube. I'm getting sick of it. I'm sick of listening to rubbish. I'm sick of talking rubbish. Because I do. Like, I'm talking about why the Earth's a fucking globe, guys. Come on. It's like, if anybody else, apart from the flat Earth scene, listened to me right now, they'd be just think I'm stating the obvious. It's just, so how crazy is that? Anyway, guys, I'm going to have a wee look at chat. See who's all in, because I know it's busy out there, and I know Antonio's doing all these. I'm going to talk about Antonio's stuff too, because I think that's just a big fucking ploy, that as well. There's no need for this sun tracking rubbish. Anyway, I'm going to check the chat, because that's another thing I've neglected, the chat. I need to say hello to everyone. Okay, we have Twit, we have AIK, we have Laurie Gale, Justin the Woods, we have Cointel Pro Killers, Paradise Found is here, Steve Antonios, Mr. Sergeant Flatballs is here. Gerald Sam, hello. I'm not sure if I've seen your name, but like I said, I've not been looking at chat lately. I'm sorry, guys. Been neglecting you a little bit. But cool. I'm glad to see you all. I'm surprised there's as many as there is. But there has been a few things happening this week. Martin. Should we talk about Martin? I like Martin. And guys, I released that video. There was 90 people, probably 90 people, maybe 100 people watching when he said it live. They were all laughing at him, and all I'd done was highlighted it. And if it was Nathan Oakley saying it about Pat or Antonio, I would have done the same thing. I wasn't just targeting Martin. It wasn't something against Martin. I like Martin. But we're in this kind of arena right now. I kind of highlighted that certain characters would probably be envious of certain people getting attention because they've been in it longer and they feel they've done more work. I said that a few weeks ago, and it was kind of manifesting, and it's good. It's great to see, because it kind of it confirms what you were thinking. It's a good feeling. So, but it's not a good feeling when you see Martin in that state, and I kind of felt guilty. I'm a human like all the rest of you guys. When I see Martin in that state, like, and I don't want him to get out. Martin can do so much and so many other things apart from flat Earth. He's built up his following. He could easily do other things. I I think Flat Earth, he's definitely one that Flat Earth has taken a lot out of him. It's probably took a few years off him, his life. But there was nothing against you, Martin, honestly, mate. And hopefully one day we'll have a hangout. Have a little talk, me and you, Martin, once the dust settles. Because I think this flat Earth stuff, it's got to calm down. It's to me right now, I think it's still on a bit of a journey. I don't think it's over yet, this flat Earth. I thought it would have been, but I think they're pulling out all the stops right now, and it's bringing on a lot of new faces and a lot of newcomers. So I think people who are on the opposing end of flat Earth have to be just as vigilant as ever, because if these are new faces coming in looking, we need to be heard as well, because both sides of the story have to be heard to get a proper opinion on it. But it's good, guys. It's all good. It's all good. And IPS, that Infinite Plane Society guy, another fucking fraud, just appeared out of nowhere. He done his little council meeting, looked like Adam Lanza, I've got to say, a wee sweaty, like, if he was in the military, he was probably the guy that made the cups of tea or something. I don't know, but it's funny how you build a picture in your mind when you hear a voice, and then you see the person, you're like, some people have got voices that didn't really go with their faces. And there's certain people, and that's another thing I want to have about these hangouts, guys, is I want to see faces. And it's not because I want to track you, and it's not because you should show your face. I just think it's more like, I'm showing my face, so it's common. Like, I wouldn't let someone into my house with a balaclava on and have a conversation with me. It's like, hey, I'm here. I'm showing my face. I'm no a chill. I'm no fucking anything. You come in and show your face. It's no, I don't mind people that don't. But if people think they have a lot to say and add to this whole scene, I think the best way to go about it is by showing your face. It's because you can read a lot with the face, especially in a light room as well. When it gets all dark, they can get lazy, and there's certain body languages these people use by sitting in the dark that deceive people. You sit in the dark, you kind of see certain mannerisms that you could catch. If you know your body language, you could tell these people are lying for a mile away. A lot of these flat earthers. But IPS, he's ran away. He's deleted a few of his videos. There's too much heat over at this end. He's probably never felt this kind of heat, this opposition as well. Because he's one of these guys who just sits and rabbits on. It's like all the conspiracies you've heard for the last 10 years rolled into like one sentence. The guy, it's intense. It's intense. He's intense, and that's what people like as well. They get sucked into that intensity. But it's fear-mongery as well, and he was out to get religion. There's no doubt. And I'm not a religious person, I'm not, but I understand that there's people out there that believe in something, whether it's God, whatever, Jehovah, the devil, anything. People believe in things, and you can't just come along and think you can take this away from them. Even the Satanists, you think you can just come along and take their devil away from them. It's like, you can't take away people's beliefs like that, and you can't just come along like that. And I know, like I said, I'm not religious, but I know not to go down that road, because it's just a losing battle. And it's good that IPS is away now. It is. It's really good, guys. Validation boys having a wee hang with Patricia Steer. Getting cozy there. It's nice. So do you know what? I've got nothing against Pat. When I look at it now, when I look how aggressive and weird it's turned, Pat seems like nothing now. Like Nathan, Pat, don't even watch them anymore. Globebusters and Jeran, they're still quite hardcore. Like, they're still quite extreme, coming out with extreme shit. You heard Bob the other week there. He's still keeping it edgy. I think that's what he's trying to do there, is just keep it edgy, because they become so monotone after a while, these characters. But Pat, I've got nothing against Pat. She seems she seems a nice woman, and I found it hard to even make videos against her even in the past. If you go back and look at my hit pieces against flat earthers and the potatoes, I called a lot of people potato squad, but a lot of stuff I didn't actually aim at Pat. But like I said, I just think there's people in it there's motivation behind it, and I look at it and I see Pat as she sees it as probably a stepping block to other things, like on radio or entertainment or something like that. Same with this ODDD TV guy. Jaron, I think it's the money. Bob, I think it's the money. I think certain people are in it for the money, and I think certain people are in it for the exposure and the fame. Certain people are in it for the truth. Certain people are just followers, just following. And it's you can't get to everybody. But anyway, guys, I was meant to have. I said to P Mars I was going to have him on. David Quintana as well. I do want you on, guys, because I think we could have a good laugh. But like I said, it's coming up for 1 now. The UFC's coming on, or it's maybe even started. But right, who is it? Oh, that was I've wrote down a few points about some people. Aaron Dover, guys. That was a thing I heard. Aaron Dover. And if you're in Flat Earth, or like if you just joined Flat Earth, everybody should know who Aaron Dover is. I'm sure he had about 15,000 subs or something. I'm sure he was one of the bigger ones. Aaron Dover, Flat Earther. Maybe not as big as it. Maybe I'm getting mixed up, but he was well known. Well, anyway, he was found dead. Aaron Dover was found dead. Apparently, Paul Michael Bales broke the news on his channel. I thought, I've heard of that Aaron Dover. So I checked in the internet, Googled it. And fair enough, there was a Times article said somebody called Aaron Dover was dead. And it did kind of match up, but I wouldn't put it 100%, but Aaron Dover, dead. Jesus Christ, guys. Antonio, that's what I was going to talk about. Antonio's stupid, pointless sun tracking, man. That guy's just an idiot. And I was watching some of it today. It's hilarious, actually. They get their wee readings done, and they're like, yeah, so the shadow's this length, and blah, blah, blah. And then about 10 minutes later, they're like, Antonio. And he's like, what is it? What is it? Oh, by the way, that reading was upside down. The reading's upside down. Then this happened all the way through the day. It was just total mess. All it does is prove the globe anyway. And my point was, the moon. See the moon right now? It's so bright. And I tried to show people, if you go back on my videos and check out my moon phases, and this is what actually hit the nail on the head for me for Flat Earth. It killed it totally, even though I knew about the star rotations in different hemispheres and all the other evidences. I was in my classroom at college, and I remember the night before I was taking photos of the crescent moon. It was beautiful. I think it was really close. It was last year, the end of last year. I think just in the woods you were taking photos, and we were all taking photos of the crescent moon. And I said to my classmate, he came back from his holidays. He was in the Emirates when I was seeing the moon like that, and I was taking photos. And when he came back, I was telling him about my photographs. I was like, "Oh, you should have seen the moon. It was so clear, and the crescent." He was like, I seen it too in the Emirates, and it looked like a bullhorn. And that's when it hit me. I was like, "What?" So if I'm seeing the moon like a crescent, and I'm in the northern I'm in Scotland, so I'm near the North Pole. So I'm seeing the moon crescent like that. He's seeing the moon like horns. So he's obviously marooned the Earth. Like I just thought to myself, that can't happen on a flat Earth. That can't happen on a flat Earth. For him to be in the Emirates and see the moon like horns, and this is where the Islamic religion gets that from, because we don't get those bullhorn moons. It's only on the equator that you see that. Because when I'm seeing that in the northern hemisphere, the Australians are seeing the opposite. And in the equator, they're seeing the bullhorns. So that's when it hit me. I was like, and that can't work, guys, at all on a flat earth. So that made me realize that the moon is really, it's an Achilles heel in the flat earth. And you can say, oh, you shouldn't look at the sky. You shouldn't look at the sky to prove the flat. Well, why are you coming out with these new apps that point at stuff in the sky? For $2.99, you can point at something in the sky that you can do with your mobile phone anyway, because it's the same fucking GPS in it. So look at the sky, look at the moon, right? Because you know what? You don't get glare. You don't get the sunshine. I've got welder's goggles there, and I've looked at the sun, and it's so hard to get a decent photograph of the disk of the sun. I've put solar lenses on my camera and tried to fix the goggles, and it's still hard to get that perfect disk of the sun. But see, the moon's so easy to photograph, and it's so close. It's so close. You can see the craters on it. You can see the face on it. You can see the shadows on it. You can see the phases. When I seen the bullhorn moon, and when my mate seen the bullhorn moon and I seen the crescent moon, we both would have seen the sun that day, and the sun it would have looked the same to us, really. But the moon doesn't. So I should have set an example. I was the last person to do a moon phase experiment. If flat earthers are honest with themselves, they should drop this fucking stupid sun tracking crap and do some moon phases, and it'll all come together, guys. It'll all come together. Stop being stupid and do the moon phases instead of the stupid sun tracking, because none of you can do it properly. None of you can take a proper reading. And to be quite honest, the way this flat earth meme looks, who's going to trust you guys, really, with any readings, anything? And Antonio doesn't even come to any conclusion. Is this not the point of a scientific experiment? You can come to some sort of conclusion, hypothesis at the end of it all. All Antonio says is, we've done the readings, you can go back and look at it and put it together. It's like, no, you're doing the experiment, mate. Finish it and come to a conclusion and show us it. Stop drabbing it on and on and on and on. Because he doesn't come to a conclusion, he thinks it's all right just to do another one the next month. It's a joke. So instead of this sun tracking crap, he should just study the moon. Him and his buddies, square-headed Vince, political smellbilly, whoever he is. They should all just study the moon and look at sun and moon calc and all that stuff and do the moon stuff. I won't take offence. I won't think you're copying. I want you to do it because I was the last person to do it, and I'm a glober. But it was so conclusive that the Earth's a globe in it that I didn't have to continue the whole phase till the moon went away. It was already conclusive that the Earth was spherical. So the Antonio and all his skivvies should do the moon. Right, spectacles. Remember him? He's went quiet, eh? Spectacles. I didn't mind that guy. I still didn't mind him. But that Chris Truss, he's such a little dweeby. Chris Truss. He's like the little telltale at school. But he's exposed something. But it wasn't the messages that I thought that was disturbing about that spectacles. Do you know what it was? I thought it was quite disturbing. One of his last videos, and I thought it was a good idea, spectacles. He'd done an ad for like a book reading thing. I thought, do you know what? That'd be pretty cool that everyone reads a book, comes back and talks about it and hang out about the book. I thought that's quite a good idea. No one has thought about that. And then I realised you had to buy that. What was his name? I write down his name. Persian Scribe. Buy his book. And then we'll do a book club. Buy his book. Like I said, motive, money, buy his book. So Spectacles, you've been a bad boy. Mark Sargent, slumming it. What you doing, Mark? What you doing? You like to slum it in other hangouts, eh? Yeah, hangout slag. Aye, so Mark Sargent has been hanging around other weird, unknown, even the people in it, they're not even, like, half of them aren't even flat earthers, and Mark Sargent's getting in there and dragging his wee minions with him, like YouTube, and they all end up in the chat, and they all end up with spanners, and they block you right away as soon as you talk, and it's weird. Mark Sargent, you're like when you hear that story about Brad Pitt, like drinking with the homeless people, and that's what it's like. It's like Mark Sargent. He's like hanging about. He's because nobody else will listen to him. We've heard him so much, and it just sounds like a broken down record. So he's trying to get he knows if he goes to a new, fresh platform that all his rubbish, all his crap analogies, all these shitty movie references are all going to sound fresh to these bunions. Anyway, Mark Sargent, pathetic. It's just becoming a bit pathetic. Instead they go rising, it's fallen. Even VB, it's like VB's he's hardly getting 200 views on these videos, and and I know it's not about views, but he thinks about views, and he's going down the pan. It's pathetic, guys. It's pathetic. I think this might be one of my must be close to one of my last Flat Earth weeklies. Political hillbilly. That PC whistly crap. Everybody knows political hillbilly. He thinks he's so sure of himself. A guy called Sly Sparkane. If you go and check a guy called Sly Sparkane, he's debunked Antonio political hillbilly over and over and over again. But they won't take down the videos, even though they know they're wrong as well. But political hillbilly, he threatened DQ because I think DQ took that political hillbilly picture, that scruffy redneck picture, and political hillbilly threatened DQ to sue him because it was his picture. Well, do you know what, political hillbilly? It's no your picture. It's somebody else's. Yeah, plagiarising fool. All your wee animations. You're just a plagiariser. Get the fuck. Right. Sunday tomorrow. Globebusters in Jiran. And where's this balloon? Where is this balloon? Bob? Jiran? Where's the balloon? Where's the balloon? It's funny, it's like this is when the flat earth amnesia kicks in, but maybe someone should just remind them now and again. This money, they were going through all these cameras, that, oh, we need money for this, we need money for that, money. It's all about the money, guys. Like I said, motivation. This is one of the things you just need to look for behind these people, and it's all about the money. It's all about the cash. And like, there's quite a few people, Timmy said it, go about our channels, go about the Globers. Who's selling anything? What are we selling? Are we trying to sell globes to people on the street? Nah, because everyone's got one in their classroom. Everyone's got one in their house. Okay, there's nothing for us. There's the only thing we can gain is lessons ourselves. I've gained, like I said, I think teachers should teach flat earth to pupils. I really do. Because that way, those pupils will go away and learn themselves, really, without relying on NASA, photographs. The kids can go away for their homework, study the moon phases, study the star rotations, the long exposure photography. go camping, they can have a great time while they do it, they can have memories latched to these things. So when people like Dell come up to them in the street and say, do you know the Earth's flat because water doesn't stick to a ball? They can turn around and say, do you know what, pal? I went camping with my mates and we done a week-long experiment proving to ourselves. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and imagine if everyone grew up doing that. These stupid memes, this deception, this crap, when you keep manifesting. And it's not just with flat earth, it's with other things as well. You can apply that way of thinking with a lot of stuff. And we all wouldn't be fooled so easily. It's just a sad state of affairs, guys. It really is. I'm going to have a look at chat, see how he's all doing, because like I said, I've been neglecting you the past couple of weeks. Right. There's a new name. Eggy Bamyasi or Bamyasi. Eggy Bamyasi. Cool name. Poncho Mars. It's like a hybrid version of Poncho and P Mars. They must have had some kind of love child. There's P Mars. How are you doing, pal? Mr. B. I liked your latest video, man. Gertrude Perkins always hanging around, always sniffing about. Captain Bullshit. Nice to see you. And who else? Test Vision is now here. How ya doing? What's AIK? I saw Dell today. Unfortunately, he wasn't doing his shitty interview. Oh, God. It's becoming more and more. It's like when you know yourself, and he's always using this objective and subjective. Is he trying to confuse people with these words? It's like the shape of the earth is objective, so there's no argument. But there is an argument, there is a debate, because two people think differently. It's like, and there is only one objective truth. So there is room for debate, and we can both present our evidences. And I want Dell to present some evidence for a flat earth, because I've seen nothing. I've seen him interviewing people, I've seen apps, but I've seen nothing. Like his app bloody proves the globe. Guys, why are you going to buy an app that proves the globe if you're a flat earther? What's going on there? Jesus Christ, man. It's like he keeps saying over and over again, didn't look at the sky. And that got me thinking, I wonder when man, like early man, caveman, whatever we were, I wonder when we started realizing there was such a thing as perspective. I wonder if a caveman even knew that a tree far away was small and a tree. I wonder if cavemen knew that there was a thing called perspective, and I wonder if cavemen understood perspective to a basic level and looked at the moon and seen that it didn't turn into a little ball as it was setting, or didn't rise as a little ball and get bigger. I wonder if cavemen and all that even thought that. They probably even contemplated it. That's all we ever done. That's all man has ever done. Before TVs, before all this entertainment, that's all we done. We studied the stars. That's what religion's practically based on, guys. If you look into it, it's all to do with stars and planets, and that's what we base everything on. The world is controlled, but if just say the Bible's based on the astronomy, it's like half the world's controlled by it. Religion. So but it's important. We've been following the stars to get around the world. It's just to say not to look at the stars is just ridiculous, guys, and I just can't accept it. And to say these things so strongly that the skies don't give you a shape of the earth, this sky, and just writing off the sky and then bringing out an app. How hypocritical is that? Bringing out an app where you can point at the sun, and it sees what your latitude and where you're pointing in your compass. That is total hypocrite. Total hypocrite. And I'd like to hear Ali B, because he's fell out of that sort of circle. I'd like to hear his view on it. I wonder if he's went back to the Globe. So that's a wee quick rundown. The Aaron Dover thing, that's a bit weird, eh? And you listen to these flat earthers, and a lot of them are heartless. They try and sound like they've got a soul, but at the same time, they're like, he was aggressive, he was this, he was that. Do you know what? If the guy's dead, just leave him. Just leave the guy alone. You didn't personally know him. It was just a YouTube channel. We don't know each other. We shouldn't hate each other because we don't know each other really. So there shouldn't be any personal hate here. And this is what you hear Fidel. It just, to me, it's just hate that comes out that screen. And there shouldn't be that. Because at the end of the day, we're talking about the shape of the earth here. We're not talking about religion. We're not talking about politics. We're not talking about race. We're not talking about things that people have died and had wars over. We're talking about the fucking shape of the earth. And when you hear people, it's like activism, get to the streets and point them out and string them up. And it's like, fucking hell. Jesus Christ, man. We're just talking about the shape of the fucking earth. And it's just, oh. And like I said, I'm willing to discuss stuff with people, but when it gets to this level, it's like religious fundamentalists, hardcore. And I'm not willing to entertain that thinking when they don't even know what empirical, like they say that if it's not been experienced, it's not worth shit. So if you've not had an experience of something you're going to talk about, you might as well just go away. And like I said, people, how are you going to experience everything? You need to base your knowledge on some books, some testimonies, experience people that have done shit that you've never done. I just don't get this, man. And this is where the whole, even the film The Matrix, the films like The Matrix and the one with Leonardo DiCaprio, where he's jumping in and out of the dreams. These films are all based on that thinking. Descartes, a French philosopher, he got to the point where he didn't believe anything until the point he got to, there was a phrase like cognito del or something. It's like, I exist because I think. And that's when he came to the conclusion he must exist because he thinks. And it's like, Jesus Christ, is this what happened just living, guys? Living, enjoying life, enjoying each other, enjoying the information we share, not to bullshit, not to willingly and deceive for your own gains and for your own motivations. Like I said, look at the motivations. All these people have got motivations to some degree. I've got my motivations. Of course. They've got their motivations. But I think their motivations are for the bad. You know what I mean? If I'm spreading information and it's fighting this disinfo, it's like, to me, that's my reward. Them, the money's the reward. Because they probably couldn't live with deceiving people for nothing. They need money. I mean, not everybody's like that. Anyway, iEarth, the Globe app. So he says the only thing that should leave your lips should be experienced. App that takes measurements of the luminaries and anything in the sky. So it just befuddles me, the app. And they're talking about trying to get an Android and all this crap. And like I said, that's about it. And this is another sort of trait I've noticed about the flat earthers, guys. I've noticed that comedy and satire and humour is very, very low when it comes to flat earth. And I find it kind of rings in with the religious people as well, and the Bible and stuff like that. And to me, I think humour and is a sign of intelligence. I think people that can laugh and laugh at stuff and create comedy and create satire, it's like it's another level of intelligence. It's something that like animals can communicate, but can animals communicate on a certain level? And it's intelligent. I think comedy is intelligence, and I love my comedy, and I started off this channel as more of a humorous satire, laughing, but now I've had to actually like roll the sleeves up and be more literal with these people, because that's how they think, literally. It's like they can't take metaphors. I like to look at the Bible, and I like to look at it metaphorically. I don't believe that a snake spoke to anyone, or a donkey or anything spoke to. It's just there's certain things that there's no way it can happen in reality. So you've got to think about it like is there a metaphor in that? But they take everything literally. And it's flat Earth is the same. They take everything literally. You can't even throw a wee joke and have a wee bit of humour. It's like, what? It's like they don't even get it. They don't get it because their mind can't move on. It's like, that's what I'm saying. Like comedy, like, and being able to like deliver a joke and get it, and you even getting a joke is a sign of intelligence. But with these people, just look straight through you. And it's like when I don't know if you've seen the film Guardians of the Galaxy, but there's this big hulkier guy. He's that ex-wrestler. I think he was an ex-wrestler or something. But one of the hero characters says that he can't take a joke, and metaphors go right over his head, and he goes, "No, it won't go over my head. I will catch them. My reflexes are too quick." But it's like that primitive mindset where that's all he knows. It's just what's literal. They can't expand the mind. They can't, and comedy is a form of that. And like I said, I find that people that take everything literally in religious movements and in flat Earth, and it's a very primitive way to think. And so is taking everything empirically, even though it's important. It is important to gain knowledge through experience, but you can't go burning books. You can't go hanging teachers. You can't go burning the courts down because there's no point in having a jury because they weren't there at the crime to experience it. So what's the point in them being there? Think about a courtroom where only empirical evidence was allowed. Everybody would be getting away with everything because testimonies, evidence, nothing would count. Like the jury would have to have been at the crime and smelt the blood and tasted it and committed the act themselves, for fuck's sake. It's like, Jesus, like if everybody thought like that, where would we go? The reason why we're sitting here having hangouts right now is because we haven't thought like that. We managed to expand our minds. 42 people here. I'm glad to have you guys, I really am. And thanks for coming along. But it's just a few things to think about. I've been rabbiting on now for nearly an hour and a half. I heard Vegan Gaines, man. He's a good guy. He's a good guy, but it's another guy that frustrates me with his idea of empirical and what's objective and what's subjective. It's like the shape of the earth is objective. Like, is there a God? Well, that's subjective. Like, we can all have a different opinion. And we could all sit in a house and we could all say, oh, it feels like this Celsius, this temperature. But there is an overall objective temperature. It doesn't matter what you think it feels like. There's an overall objective temperature. And with the Earth, I'm afraid it's spherical. And if these idiots over at Antonio's even had a brain cell, like two brain cells to rub together, they would figure out that the moon is more of a solid measure, and you can get a better measurement. You can the shadows, everything, but they willingly ignore it. They deliberately ignore it. They deliberately ignore it because they know it'll debunk them. So they keep everyone going around on this carousel, fucking lies and deceit and just bullshit. And this time last year, he was sitting with Pat. Now he's sitting with a guy. God, man. I kind of predicted it. Anyway, I'll have one last look at chat and I'll get the fuck out of here. Okay? I'll leave you to listen to all these other balloons. Right. We have Victoria Sarton, Captain Bullshit, Steve Antonios, Test Vision, AIK, Space Lord, David Quintana. Nice to see you, man. 234 Cheech, Metaphysical. Cal Jones. Bacon is literal too. P Mars, sup DQ. Victoria, exactly, Kyle. I think when he says he goes for coffee, I just mean smoke the ganja. Hey Mars, Vegan Gains is a flat earther now. Jesus Christ. Vinny's a great guy. I've met lots of flat earthers. They come across as great, lovable characters. Oh, God. Steve Antonio, you're such a troll, man. I've heard you argue flat earth one day and the next day argue for a globe earth. Some guy, mate. Some guy. This drunk Scottish asshole is a godless heathen, so who cares if he don't believe in FE reality? Genderism is next. Just thumbed up. Hope you make a video soon on something. I'm off to bed. Night, night, and cheers, mate. And Laurie. See you later, Justin. Night, mate. Right. So, I'm glad you all came out. Laurie, DQ, P. Sorry, and I never had you on. I'm going to watch Cormier fight, the UFC, and I'm sure there's a few other good fights on the bill. I didn't really want to miss it. It's a good undercard one. Right, people. So, don't buy a flat earth map from anyone in the flat earth because it's bullshit. Don't buy any apps. And don't buy the lies. Don't buy these never-ending conversations about empirical evidence. Just didn't buy it, guys. And good work, P Mars. You're doing a good job, man. Everyone, check Space Lord -3 and Fart Talk 45 for flat earth trolling. If you like flat earth trolling drama, go and check these guys out because I enjoy them. Catch you later.